Yeah, I mean it's a race to the end at this point, right? And every win you can get is a big one, and obviously Friday night got pretty lopsided pretty quickly, and you always worry, as a coach coming out on Saturday, how are we going to bounce back? Because baseball is baseball, and anybody can win on any given day, and so obviously as we saw on Saturday, and so didn't execute very well on Saturday offensively, especially early in the game, and but just found a way. Our guys did a really good job. It's one thing that has been kind of a staple of this group thus far in the season is guys are going to fight regardless of the execution piece, and that's big. I mean, obviously down the stretch in big games we got to be able to execute well to have a chance to win in some of those big games against good opponents, but being able to fight and never give up is a quality in a team that you want. And so it was good to watch that, and obviously exciting into the ball game. And so those are the ones that give you gray hairs in your beard, like we were talking about a minute ago. So, but and then did a really good job, on Sunday on yesterday of kind of extending the lead. And then I thought our pitchers did a really good job also kind of shutting it down, especially out of the bullpen yesterday. So, good weekend. We've had to navigate a few weekends in a row. Kyle Frelick being out, and so I thought, we've tried some different pieces and parts and moved some stuff around, and I think we're starting to settle into what we feel like is a good mix, and hopefully get him back to a place where we can get him back on the mound. And so, you got to have depth, man, and to win in this league with 4-game series, and that's one thing that we're fortunate to have. And guys have been out, but we've had guys step up in big ways.
Coach, you guys, speaking of guys stepping up in big ways, you guys had 7 different guys with at least 5 hits over the weekend. You had 52 as a team. Kind of just the offense, it seemed like they took a good step in the right direction here. A bunch of guys contributing. Talk about that. What's been the mindset during the week? Are you guys focusing on that, maybe putting a little bit more emphasis on that type of thing?
I mean, at the end of the day, we know we've got a deep ball club, and, we try to, as coaches, put focus into not just our guys that are in the starting lineup every day, but every guy that's on our roster. And I got to give credit to Coach White. He's working with the offense and doing most of that legwork, and did a really good job. Haven't liked what we've seen the last couple weeks, and really dug into the film and put a good plan together for practice this week. And we really haven't practiced much in the last 3 weeks because of the schedule and weather and travel and all the things that have been coming up. And so it was good last week to have a couple days of practice, and then we'll get that again this week before we head to PB as well. So just kind of putting some things, getting back in check with some things, and mid-season check-in, and just kind of doing some things well. He really challenged the offense this week to do a good job of being selfless, finding a way to get on base, getting hit by pitches, whatever it takes. And I think we got hit by more pitches this weekend than we probably have the rest of the season. And so, just credit to him, credit to those guys for buying in and finding a way to, to get the job done this weekend.
Coach, you mentioned going to UTPB this weekend, team that effectively ended your season last year, but maybe not quite the revenge type thing. That's probably not the mindset here, but it's just kind of going out there, taking care of business, getting a series win. What's the mindset this week?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to go take it one game at a time. Obviously, it's a tough place to play. Anytime you go out west in this league, the wind, the conditions, the field conditions, dry, and so it's a tough place to go win, a tough place to play, and but we got to go execute one game at a time. That's how we can, get it done. And, and so if we go out there and we execute well, and our guys believe in the plan and can, from pitch number 1 of the weekend all the way to the end of the weekend, stay focused and locked in with good energy, find a way to put good at-bats together, capitalize when we get runners in scoring position. I think we have an offense that can play well out there. And so, if we do some things the right way. So excited about, getting out there, getting on the road again. I think we only got 2 road trips left this year, this being one of them. And obviously we ended our season there last year. So at least for the guys that are coming back, there's a little bit of, wanting to go back there and make things right before we come home. And so, so excited about this week of preparation, and excited about the week we have in front of us and the opportunity we have to go play those guys.